Welcome all to the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast. If you that going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, and maybe even poking a little bit of fun at Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how great moose knuckles are in Toyotas, then this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and germs. I did say moose knuckles. And yes, it is those kind. Jimmy, how the hell are you today, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling a little bit better.
Good.
So, yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, we had a
Were
fun...
you under the weather or what?
No,
what was wrong with you?
Just too much on my mind. So
yeah.
trying to keep track of stuff. And
things are trying to mellow down a little bit, or
it helps when you sit down for an hour and talk about moose knuckles with people.
Yes, absolutely.
So and drooling.
That always brings a smile to my face.
Yes, it does. Oh man. Anyways, we have a really fun episode for you guys today. We got Kyle here in the virtual studio, so we'll get over to him in a quick minuto. In the meantime, though, we do have some fun giveaways going on. If you guys did not get entered for the Moose Knuckle giveaway from July, sorry, it's done. It's over. Capiche? Capush? Dunzo.
Yeah. Yes, and we will be doing the drawing for that on Thursday's episode, as well as doing FNGs and birthdays and the review giveaway.
The swag giveaway. Yeah, that's right. We did hit 550 reviews. So once we reach 750, though, we'll be giving away a set of tires from Yokohama. Thank you guys and gals over at Yokohama for donating a set for all the listeners out there. Super cool of them to do that. And all you got to do out there to get entered is leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. That's it. And you can leave more than one review if you can find a way to do it. Just remember the accounts that you leave the reviews on.
Absolutely.
So
we don't have any more 6-string truckers.
Yeah, 6-string truckers, or there was
another one. I forgot who it was though.
The one that Joe Z won over.
Oh, the username already taken. Yes. 69420.
That one. Yep. So yeah, remember the usernames, the accounts that you guys make reviews on Apple Podcasts, so that when we announce winners for swag giveaways like the 550 that's going to get announced here on Thursday, or for the Yokohama set of tires, you guys can claim your prize. So we got the reviews as always going on. We have a really fun interview here with Moose Knuckle, which was last month's giveaway. We have this month's giveaway with Spartan rope recovery equipment. So they have the Spartan rope soft shackle hitch receiver.
Yep.
There we go. The SRH. Nye, we need help. So yeah, man, we'll have Nye here on the show later this month to talk about that whole product development side. And let's see, anything else we got going on for this month, or anything in general?
Not necessarily. We did have a conversation offline with Kyle from Moose Knuckle Offroad, and we are going to probably try to get a group buy together.
That's right.
So if you are interested in getting some of their products at an unknown currently discount, just hit us up, and we'll just start a line of everybody that's interested in products. And once we find out the percentage, and we might actually know by the time this airs, we'll reach out to everybody and tell them what percentage discount we can get, and then we'll take your orders, and then we'll move forward with another group buy.
Yeah. I think I wonder if that's going to turn into a normal thing each month.
Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know. We'll see. It seems like we're getting some pretty cool products from some pretty cool companies being talked about either on the podcast or getting for the monthly giveaways. So
yeah, if you think this is a good idea, let us know. If you are interested in trying to get group buys going with some of these companies that we get a hold of, you can always reach out to us, Jimmy or Tyler, at snailtrail4x4.com, or you can find us on Instagram. I'm over at Snailtrail 4x4. Tyler's at 4x4 Toyota Tyler. I'll say that now since we didn't say it at the end of the last episode.
Yeah, that's true. So there's that info for everybody. Let us know if you're interested in a Moose Knuckle Off-Road group buy. They have some pretty cool stuff on there, including their lug rope.
Love line.
the lug line. Was it love line or lug line?
I thought it was love line.
Oh, love line works even better.
Where's Google?
Kyle, we need you back. Oh man. So yeah, there's some really cool stuff. some feature-rich products. You wouldn't think that there's very much more that somebody could do to a bow shackle or D-ring or anchor shackle, whatever you want to call them out there. But Moose Knuckle has found a way. So really cool stuff. Really neat way, the way that their brain works over there at Moose Knuckle Offroad. So you guys will get to meet Kyle here today on today's interview.
I was wrong.
What is it?
It's the lug line.
The lug line.
Yes.
Nice.
And we get to hear all about that in today's episode.
Yep. So some really cool stuff. If you guys are interested in a group buy, let us know and we'll put one together for y'all because I want some gels for myself.
Me
and
too.
Probably lug line and probably
Me
some
too.
other things. So, all right. I guess that about does it then. Shall we get on over and let Kyle talk now?
Sounds great.
All right, cool. Go ahead and grab your favorite drinks, everybody out there.
Liquid Force.
Liquid Force? No way. I've been making Moscow Mules at home recently, which have been great.
Those sound great.
They've been fantastic in the heat.
Liquid Force is a wakeboard brand.
Oh, I thought it was some kind of drink.
I know, but it sounded like it, didn't it?
I know, right? Fair. All right, so we'll be right on back today with Kyle from Moose Knuckle Offroad.
Are you tired of landing in potholes and bouncing off obstacles? To play at your full potential, correctly tuned coilovers allow you to float over the rocks and gain more traction. At 4-Wheel Underground, our full suspension systems include custom-tuned coilovers for your specific application. To learn more, visit 4wheelunderground.com.
Oh, welcome back, ladies, gentle ladies, kiddos, doggos, mooses, mises, all the animals out there. We got a fun interview here today. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to end up giggling like a little schoolgirl the whole time, probably. But we have a certain special somebody here, Mr. Kyle from Moose Knuckle. Kyle, go ahead and say hi to everybody so everyone knows what you sound like.
How you doing? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on and thanks for donating to our giveaway last month. We had some fun winners, which are going to be announced this Thursday. So you're coming out on Monday here, this episode. So on Thursday, we'll be announcing the winner of all these fun little products. But we've been having them sitting here in the studio for a while. We've been drooling over them. How often do you get people saying they're drooling over your Moose Knuckles? Just curious.
Quite often.
Yeah. Good answer.
It's mostly over the product. So
Yeah. Well, these are pretty cool. The packaging's awesome. It's a really cool concept and something new in the off-road recovery scene, which is kind of fun to see because you'd think the recovery equipment, rigging equipment has been around for so long that there's very few updates that can be done to the technology. And you have some really neat little things going on here. So before we get into all of that, like where's your background to lie? How did you get into having an off-road recovery equipment company named after Moose Knuckles?
Well, I've been in product development for a very long time. I mean, the far backstory is I was a professional wakeboarder for about 15 years.
Nice.
And I was one of those kids that, my parents gave me everything broken and said, hey, try to fix this. And I was into Legos. They bought me Legos, that sort of thing. So I've always had kind of that interest in product development and tinkering and doing that whole thing. And I did a lot of product development for my sponsors when I was a professional wakeboarder. And just always kind of been into the whole physics and creation and product development side of things. So I took that experience and brought it into something that basically my wife and I wanted to be kind of like an adventure company because I had done, I've traveled for wakeboarding. I've always been kind of into that action sports and off-roading is kind of an action sport, even though it's not like, a person performing on a motorcycle or a wakeboard or snowboard or something like that. It's kind of action sports if you think about it, but it's also adventure. And we're getting to the point in our lives where we want to do some more adventuring. Our kids are growing up. We have 2 kids. One's almost 21. One's almost 18. So we're going to be empty nesters soon. And we wanted to build a company that revolves around traveling around to really cool locations, off-roading, doing events, maybe doing, going to concerts, setting up booths, stuff like that. And, driving down the road one day, I had an idea for a recovery shackle based on what you said, truck nuts. So that's kind of the birth of back in 2018. And kind of just ran with it, like dove in head first. Had started, always been an entrepreneur. Had started companies within the wakeboard industry, like actually built manufacturing facilities to manufacture wakeboards. Have my name on multiple patents and stuff like that. So I've always been into the creation side of things. And this idea kind of, fueled this whole adventure. So and now off we go.
Nice. So yeah, you said you were inspired from truck nuts. Why, what made you think that you could build a recovery shackle shaped like truck nuts? Why did that thought enter your head while you're driving down the freeway?
Well, two things. Actual plastic veiny balls hanging from the back of a bumper don't really have any function, right? They just kind of
for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, they just express someone's masculinity. And, if you look at an anchor shackle or what some people call D-rings, which isn't actually the right term for an anchor shackle, it's kind of shaped like one testicle.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, let's just put two of those side by side and let's actually make a functional set of truck nuts. But also, I wanted to solve a problem because I grew up in the country and I've always been, out in the wilderness and done all that. And, parties after high school, out in the woods, with big lifted trucks and stuff like that. People always get stuck. So, I've always had that experience. And the fact that you always get kind of pigeonholed into a situation where you may not have tools to unscrew a screw pin shackle, right? Mm-hmm. So what are you forced to do if you don't have a soft shackle or a wrench? You do a slip knot on an anchor shackle, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What happens to a slip knot on an anchor shackle? It all binds and cinches down at the bottom. You end up having to hammer it off. You ruin your recovery strap or rope or whatever. Well, the actual XL shackle that's shaped like truck nuts, it keeps that slip knot separated, doesn't allow it to tighten. And it has a space underneath that if it does tighten a little bit, you can stick a screwdriver or something in there and just pry really easily and not ruin your recovery strap eye or tow rope eye. So
that's cool. So not only are they beautiful to look at, but they're functional.
Yeah. So, it's obviously not the ideal way to make a recovery connection, right? Mm-hmm. But sometimes you're forced to make those connections. And I wanted an easy way to be able to take it off, but also,
have some fun with it too.
Yeah, have some fun with it too. My wife actually came up with the name. Like we were going to call it Shackles, like Shackle. But that was already taken, so we couldn't use that one.
Shackles was already taken.
Yeah, there's backpacks they call it Shackles out there.
Wow.
So we couldn't use that one.
Wow.
So in your guys' bio, you guys said that actually truck nuts are illegal in some areas. I've never even heard that, but can you expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, you have cities, counties, and then statewide, municipalities that are pulling people over for obscenity laws because some of these plastic truck nuts are really veiny and very graphic, right?
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
It doesn't bother me, but it bothers some people, and they're actually pulling people over and giving them obscenity tickets. Like if you put something on your back window, you've heard of people getting pulled over for putting vulgar stuff on windows. It's kind of that same situation. They make them take it off. They give you a fix-it ticket or whatever, or a fine for something like that. So it's kind of spreading municipality. I don't know the exact ones, but it is a problem that we were trying to solve or help people still express their masculinity, but have a functional towing device from their hitch hole.
Don't worry, we already have the E rating on every single one of our episodes. We knew this was going to go down a few dark tunnels.
Pun intended.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, let's have some fun. Let's make have a company. Let's create a company. Let's have some fun at the same time. So that's kind of what we've built around. Like, we're really cool products. We tried to go for like a, boutique brand mixed with, rugged and innovative. And I feel like heading in the right direction. So
I would agree with that. I think you guys are, obviously all the product looks great. It's a fun product as well for people, but it's also super functional because you have the ratings, the limits, the load limits on everything, which is really nice. Like, so your moose knuckle shackles, what's your working load limits on those?
Every 3/4 shackle is a 10K workload limit.
Yeah.
So then we have a 5-to-1 safety factor. So the brakes are over 50,000 pounds. So the jowl broke at 55,000 pounds on our video that's on our website. Nice. Our Mohawk receiver, shackle receiver, I believe broke at, I think it was around the same thing, 55. And then we haven't posted our XL shackle video, which is going to get posted probably next week or the week after. But we had the thing about the XL shackle is a lot of people question the side loading because if you make one connection, it's on the side, right? Mm-hmm. Well, we actually beefed it up to a point where it would handle that side loading. So we have a brake test where it's actually side loaded and it broke at 57,000 pounds. So
wow.
We added some, material on the sides, the bottom to kind of counteract that side loading. So
yeah, if you can, side loading is definitely a concern, but that's why you properly engineer stuff so that you know what the problems are, and you can engineer them for the problems that product may have. And it sounds like you guys are doing that, which is cool. Let's go through, you mentioned a couple of different items. Let's go through kind of your guys' product lineup and talk about the stuff you have, because you've only been around since, you said 2018, right? Is when you originally brought the first one to market?
Yeah, we started in 2018 and then we kind of ran into the, pandemic, COVID kind of slowed us down a little bit. So we feel like we're really just getting started, 2 years ago. So it was kind of like tough through that period. But I think we kind of grabbed onto the e-commerce model, direct to consumer. And I think that's what really helped us through the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Instead of having to be involved in a lot of the freight that you would be involved with distributors and retailers and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So now we're growing too fast almost. So it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, for sure. What are some of the products you have? You have the moose knuckles, the originals, the shackles, and then what are some of the other stuff you guys got?
Yeah, so we started in kind of the mainstream, Jeeps, that full-size truck kind of segment. With 3/4 shackles, because that's the most popular ones that people hang from their bumpers. And we actually call the moose knuckle shaped shackle the XL shackle. Okay. Because everything's moose knuckle off-road, right?
Yeah, so gotcha.
The plan for the XL is to eventually offer bigger ones and smaller ones because you have the side-by-side, industry. You also have like the massive F350 lifted trucks. Those guys are hanging, 1.5-inch shackles off the back of their trucks and stuff like that. So yeah. We called that one XL, so we could go, either direction. We can go, medium, small, whatever we want to name them down there, teeny, tiny, whatever.
The mediums.
And then go up to, yes, exactly. That's cool. The XL. Okay. And then, we have the split shackle, which is the jowl. And then, which is a lot of people I don't know if they understand the name sometimes, but it's a mix between a pig and an owl. So I don't know if you saw the picture. It's a pig owl.
I never put that together.
That it was a pig owl. Yeah, I'm looking at it right here.
So it came from the jowl of the pig, that part of the pig. So that was kind of the creation of the name.
That's very clever, and it works well because the half of the jowl makes a good J, and it falls right into your guys' logo on there. Very clever branding. Yeah,
we call them J hooks. So, yeah.
So those are cool. Explain the jowls really quick for people who don't know. We have been explaining them a little bit, but I'm curious to hear your explanation from the guy who actually created them.
Yeah. And I call them pain points, like run across something, you run to a pain point, you try to solve that pain point, right? So
absolutely.
Again, not having tools. So like you're out on the trail, you have mud, you have water, you got snow. and you have to go get your wrench or your screwdriver to undo your screw pin shackle. I wanted to figure out a way where we wouldn't have to deal with that anymore. So you could just really quickly, make a connection. So the split shackle is 2 halves that open up. So you can insert your toe strap eye or, kinetic recovery rope eye, engage both hooks. And then, as you build tension, it keeps it all closed. And we over-engineered it to handle the splitness of it, the 2 different sides. We added some interlocking features so that it would index properly once it tightened down. And it's beefy. When you look at it from the side, it's over an inch wide at the bottom, where the normal 3/4 inch shackle is 3/4 inches, right?
Yeah.
So it's a beefy product, and people are loving it. We've had a lot of response from first responders, even because seconds save lives. When you're on the side of a highway as a tow truck driver or a semi driver or even a rescue, ambulance or whatever, you have to go over there, get tools, take all this time, where this, you can just pull out your rope, make a connection, get someone out of harm's way quicker. And even in the snow, same thing. So people don't have to spend as much time out in the cold for recoveries. And it's getting a lot of an attraction for that too. We've even had some interest from the military because, military squadrons can go out and recover a down vehicle a lot quicker. So we're kind of trying to head in that direction. So
yeah, it's really cool. I love the quickness of it. And the first time we saw them, I like to think of myself as a recovery nut job. But I love nerding out on recovery equipment and rigging, but we both kind of were like, man, is that going to withhold the forces of being a split shackle like that? And I was like, we started looking up the working load limits on it and everything. I'm like, well, as long as they've engineered it properly. And then when we actually kind of got to see them, we still haven't opened up these packages here. We're trying to keep them nice and pretty for the listeners, but we got to start looking at them closer on the website. And we're like, those are actually like really thick metal there for them. So it's cool that you've made a very functional product that eliminates the pain point of having to open up shackles, the anchor shackles. So, because I hate that, like, especially out in cold winter snow wheeling, where if you're actually snow wheeling, you will be getting stuck and you will be needing to recover people and get recovered yourself. And so you're having to open and close these anchor shackles all day long. And if it's really cold outside, you're having to do it with gloves on, which sucks to get a screw pin out with these big ass snow gloves on. And if it's really cold, then they've also frozen together. You can't get the screw pin out. Yeah. And so being able to see this, that eliminates having to pull a screw pin out of a shackle now, awesome. The other thing I really love about it is you're making the recovery system safer as well. You're making it less complex and simpler by taking out, because if people are going to be lazy and it is going to suck to pull a screw pin out of an anchor shackle, they're just going to put a soft shackle through the anchor shackle. Jimmy, I do it all the time too. I leave all my shackles on the vehicle and use soft shackles as the connection point between my rope and the anchor shackle. And so by having the jowls on there, you're now eliminating that extra soft shackle in the system of your rigging, which shouldn't be there in the first place, but we put it there because we're lazy.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, there's a lot of people that don't even know what a soft shackle is yet. It's semi new. It comes from sailing, and they made them larger for off-road recovery and towing. But there's a lot of people, like, if you ask them what a soft shackle is for recovery, they might not even know what it is. So they're just going to do the traditional, like, hook a strap up to a screw pin shackle. And we're not really trying to get rid of soft shackles. We actually have some designs that we're working on that we haven't released yet that are going to be kind of our twist on soft shackles.
I can't wait.
So we're not trying to get rid of them, but for people, it's one less piece of equipment they necessarily have to buy, but they should have, because you want to have everything on your truck if you're out in the wilderness. But yeah.
I can only envision, and like with a soft shackle, it has the loop, and you put one of the balls through the loop, and I'm only envisioning now your soft shackle just having 2 of those knots to stick through the loop. You don't have to give us any hints about what direction you guys are going, but that's what I envisioned.
Yeah. I didn't think of it. That's weird. No.
Or there's 2 loops and 2 balls.
Oh,
You got
too many holes.
Anyways. Yeah, kudos on the jowl. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty innovative thing that I think is a fantastic product that if anybody's going to be putting anchor shackles on their vehicles, this is honestly one of the best options out there from everything that I've seen and everything that I've used personally. Pretty kudos to you on that, on the development of that and coming up with it. So
there's been a lot of, sorry to interrupt, but there's been a lot of like skepticism, I guess, that we're, trying to, once people get it in their hands, they actually use it and they feel it. That helps a lot. But, like a lot of people question the side loading of it. They don't realize it interlocks. They don't realize it's over designed on the, like if you look at the side profile of it, I mean, it's just not the same as a standard anchor shackle.
Mm-hmm.
It's just got a lot more meat to it.
Mm-hmm.
They think that it might pop off, if you're doing a kinetic recovery and it gets slack, it'll come off. But I mean, that's all been tested and it just can't. You could shake it and do little twisty whips and everything. And it just, that's what we have the angle stops for. That's the gravity of the whole shackle falling down doesn't let, one hook fall and the other open. It's just, it's a pretty cool design, featureful design. And like, if you look at the pin too, a lot of people get their shackles stolen. So we made it kind of hard for that to happen too, unless a thief has,
Hex
two. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If they have the proper tools in their thievery toolkit, then it's going to be tough to steal them as well. So
yeah, we noticed that with your product as well, and we thought that was an ingenious move because now you don't need to remove this because you can open it up to put the eye of your strap inside of there. And so you never need to remove it. So you developed a way to kind of lock it in place and make it difficult for those people to steal it. Because on my truck, I have zip ties through the eye or through that little dot on the key to remove it. That zip ties around the anchor. I've always called it the wrong thing, apparently. Anchor shackle? Yeah.
Yep.
To prevent people from sticking a screwdriver in there and nobody carries, additional tools to pull off one of those shackles. So yeah, you did a great job. And, you didn't even just solve the problem of, an easy way to attach a strap to your rig, but you solved the problem of them being stolen as well.
Yeah, thanks. Mm-hmm. And not to mention the customization side of it, like having two hooks, you can mix colors. I mean, right now we have 169 different color options.
Wow.
And if someone really wants something custom coded, we'll do it for them. So like we get people emailing us, say, hey, I want to match this part of my Jeep. We use a website called Prismatic Powders, and they'll send us a pound of powder for $12 to $15 in 2 days. So we just do like a little upcharge for the customer, and we'll color match for people, and away we go. And we can do it that way. They can buy like a white shackle and then have their custom color as the other half, so they can really accent their vehicle with it. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things I enjoyed, seeing. It's like, yeah, I could have, black shackles on the back of it, but I can add yellow ones too, or I can change the black out for another random color, and you can just really customize it. I know Tyler wants the eggplant style one. So to go, he's going to do the moose knuckle XL in the center and then the 2 eggplants on the outside.
Eggplant jowls on that.
Yeah. So,
that's perfect. Let's do it.
Especially since his color's green. So, it just works out perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, kudos on the jowls. Those are a really, really cool product. It's fun to see when innovation hits in the off-road recovery scene, rigging equipment. What is the Mohawk receiver?
Yeah, that's just a shackle receiver. We needed something to hang our shackles from your hitch hole or your hitch tube. So a lot of the shackle receivers that I was seeing didn't have like material where you want it most. So we added material. We created that spine of material around it and kind of gave that product its identity, which is a kind of like a punk rock theme, Mohawk shackle receiver. So we're going to
very wakeboarder-esque of you.
Yeah. a lot of influence from a lot of things. Yeah. But yeah, that's every round edges for soft shackles, and then just a beefy shackle toe point. So
is that also available in a wide variety of colors?
Right now we just have 5. So we, black, silver, so anodized colors because it's aluminum.
Okay.
So and we forge aluminum, so we get that grain flow. It's not just like a billet aluminum; it's drop forged.
Okay.
So we have grain flow in the right direction, so you get that extra strength in the place and added material in the place where you need it. So.
Nice. So you're getting more tensile strength out of the aluminum when you're, pulling it on tension in that specific direction that hitch holes typically get pulled in.
Correct.
Yeah. Got it.
That whole sentence, so you could say hitch holes.
I really was. I just wanted to say hitch holes. Nice.
So yeah, we're kind of going in either direction of the most common size, which is the 2-inch.
Mm-hmm.
So,
gotcha. So you have
we'll release more products. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have the 2.5 and 3-inch as well then, or?
We're working on it.
Okay.
We have them designed. We have samples. We just haven't put them on the website yet and haven't started manufacturing on them. We've been so busy with the jowl because we're releasing the side-by-side version, which is the 5/8, and then we're trying to do even a smaller one because in side-by-sides they use 5/8 and 1/2 inch.
Mm-hmm.
So the jowl is keeping us busy from a production standpoint and a product release standpoint. So the larger Mohawks have been kind of put on the back burner, but we did release the 1.25 inch for UTVs, ATVs, and side-by-side. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. And what is this? Is it? I don't even know if I'm going to say it correctly, so I'm just going to show you so that you can make sure it gets said correctly.
Bow shackle.
The bow shackle. I wasn't sure if it was bow or if it was BO.
Yeah. It's like
okay.
It's kind of a stutter comma.
Bow shackle. Yeah. Okay. Got it. That's cool. So there's a fun little pain point helper with the bow shackles. What is that there on those?
Well, that's a partnership between our friends at OE Offroad Parts.
Oh, nice.
Lisa and Clint Breeding up in Idaho, in Boise, Idaho. He had the idea of putting kind of like a lanyard on the pin, and then him and I kind of chatted back and forth, and I came up with that. I kind of took the idea and his concept and created the design of the key ring, kind of that looped style key ring, and we put it on the pin. So like what you were talking about previously when you're wearing gloves in the snow, you drop a pin in the snow and it's like, oh, where's the pin? Or the mud or the water or whatever. Yeah. So now a lot of times you always have a grip on the body part of the shackle. You're doing the pin, spinning it, and then all of a sudden it falls. Well, you still have a hold of the body side and it's connected by a lanyard. But most lanyards, when you start twisting the pin, they get all tangled up. You have to untangle, twist, untangle. So this one, the key ring stays in one spot. You can just spin the pin and away you go. So he came up with the name, the 2-finger spin pin from the Jeep Wave.
Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of where that came from. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a great design for a traditional shackle. And we beefed up that one from the side too. I don't know if you looked at the profile of it, but it doesn't like a normal anchor shackle. It has, the top ears and then straight down really close to that 3/4 cut because, a lot of standard shackles are designed for rigging and chain hoists and master links and stuff like that in the rigging industry. Well, our shackles are designed for recovery specifically so that we were able to add those tapers and those soft edges and beef up the material in areas to, kind of more conform to the recovery world, not so much the rigging world. So
that's nice. That's a nice little updated feature that I didn't notice on it. I was just going to try and pull up that picture of them to take a look at that, the taper you're talking about.
Yeah, but it really seems like you're thinking about recovery as sort of a primary focus of what the purpose of these items are for, compared to just taking something out of like the rigging industry, like you were saying, and just applying it, to what you guys do. So have you been in a lot of recoveries, or do you do a lot of recoveries? Where did all this knowledge come from?
Oh, I mean, I've been in plenty of recoveries, yeah, for sure. But no, I mean, it's just, I guess I just have an eye for like, creating products around problems and specific to an industry kind of deal. Like you throw me in an industry and I'll be like, hey, that could be better. Not to say there's bad product out there. I just when I look at stuff, I'm like, hey, that's really cool. Cause I always think of stuff as really cool, but I just have something in my mind that's like, I think I could make that better. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of sounds a little arrogant, which is not what I mean at all, but it's just kind of like a driving force in me that I just love that product creation side of things. So I just kind of always love doing it and always try to do it. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what's your off-roading background then? Cause you've done a lot of wakeboarding and other stuff growing up, but what has been some of the off-roading background that you've gotten to do a bunch of recoveries in? I
mean, honestly, just life. I'm an enthusiast just like everybody else. And we just dove kind of headfirst into this industry. And, to be honest, we're learning as we go. We're probably going to make mistakes as we go, but we'll learn from those mistakes. And hopefully it just leads to really cool product for everybody to use in recovery. We're a small company that does a good job at looking really big. Uh-huh. We're growing, so we're trying to immerse ourselves in the recovery scene, get more involved with clubs. We got a great group of brand ambassadors, a lot of brand ambassadors nationwide that, give us a lot of feedback and help us with our creation. They do a lot of testing for us, all that stuff. So, the plan moving forward is to, just see as many events and get into as many off-road adventures as we can and learn from it. And hopefully we see things that will inspire us to create like new products for everybody to make recovery easier and safe at the same time. Safety at the forefront always,
Yeah. Not safety third.
Yeah.
That's cool. Where do you guys are based? Where are you based out of?
Central Florida.
Central Florida.
So we're in Claremont, which is about 40 minutes west of Orlando.
Nice.
So,
you ever make it out to the West Coast?
I mean, I haven't for off-roading yet, but hopefully one day there's a lot of places that we want to see. So
there's a lot of really cool trails out here that I think you guys would have a lot of fun on.
Oh yeah, I know. I got a laundry list of places. So
nice.
Yeah.
How many people does your company support? How many employees do you guys have?
It's just our family, like my wife, my two kids, and we man up everything,
Wow.
Like I said, we're a small company. We have pop-up dealers. So it's kind of a weird age. Like you can do a lot of stuff with few people, but outsource everything to people who specialize in it. So we have, people that are in off-road that handle our SEO. A great team of guys. We have pop-up dealers that travel around. They're already doing Jeep, events. So they're like point of sale dealers. So we can be small here and then big out there kind of deal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming from two guys that own their own businesses as well, it's kind of cool knowing that it's just you, the wife, and the kids really is the part of as the main company, and then seeing you guys, seeing the brand everywhere that we've seen it, and seeing the product on friends' vehicles and whatnot too is kind of fun to consider. Knowing that we know how much it takes to run a company kind of behind the scenes and how much time and effort it takes to be doing all the stuff that you guys are probably doing back there. So cool. Kudos to you guys.
Thanks. But we wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun, right? So
hopefully that's the goal. Yeah.
But, hopefully that's about to change. Like we have that hockey stick kind of curve for growth. So that might all change here soon. We might be hiring some people and change. There might be some big changes going on here soon. So
that's cool.
what I hope. Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations on that. I think the jowl that you guys came out with, because I mean, when did the jowl get released?
2020. Well, and we did pre-orders for, we struggled through pre-orders for, about 6 months, just trying to get, manufacturing dialed and then shipped. So That was 2021 is when we released it. Yeah.
Okay. So at the end, and near the end, was that what I heard?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've really been out a little over, maybe around 2 years, maybe max now. And I think that is going to be, I might be throwing words at a wall here, but I think it's going to be your, your saving grace or your bread and butter here, because that design is so cool and it's unique in the market. Nobody does anything like that, and it's really saving, like you said, a pain point of off-roading and rigging and hitching that I think that's going to be your big push and big saving grace of the company for sure.
Thanks.
Yep.
We have a really cool kinetic rope too that a lot of people don't know about. So we call it the lug line. Yeah. And but nice. Right now, it's a 7/8 kinetic recovery rope, but we cast coat the eyes. We don't hand coat them, we cast coat them, which is pretty cool. And then we also do something that I haven't seen anybody else do is we're doing reflective coating for night recoveries.
Okay. Yeah. That's a nice feature.
What is cast coating?
Cast coating is where you just take a mold, 2 molds, and we use it. It's a polymer. So we basically take the 2 molds and smash it over the rope, and it creates like a nice casting around the eye loop of the rope. And
what's the benefit of doing it that way versus the hand application?
You can make it a little thicker.
Okay.
If you look at a lot of kinetic recovery ropes, the eyes, it's just kind of like a thin layer because it's hand coated, right? You can't build it up. There's nothing to contain it. So with cast coating, you have 2 molds that actually close over, so you can add a little bit more material. So just creates a little bit more protection for the rope.
Do you have a background in material sciences at all? I'm just kind of curious.
Just all the product design that I've done over the years, think of what the materials in a wakeboard. There's a lot of materials. I dealt with resins, fiberglasses, plastics, woods, foams, laminates, heat presses, sublimation, all that stuff just to build a wakeboard. CNC machines to do all that routing and, pressing, building board presses. Not to mention just other stuff that I've done in the past. So that a lot of that knowledge just carries over to this, I think it helps because it's like a different take on how to make things in this industry. So yeah.
Yeah, totally. It's just interesting to me hearing you talk about the different materials and stuff that goes into it. And knowing how to do the engineering behind what the strength yields are of these different materials and how to build them up and how to do a forge, what do you call it? A flow forged?
Casting.
Yeah, of the aluminum for the aluminium for all of our people in Australia, of the Mohawk receiver hitches to make sure you get more tensile strength in the directions that you're pulling on. I'm like, man, you got to have some kind of background in how materials are made and produced and manufactured, not just from a product design standpoint of like, oh yeah, let's add this feature here. Make sure that the pin spins freely on the bow shackle. No, you actually know quite a bit about the material sciences behind everything, the physics behind the materials you're using, which is, I don't want to say a rare feature to find in one individual, but you typically don't find people who are really good at design and really good at the physics behind the materials they're using all in the same personality. So I was just kind of curious where that came from.
Yeah, just I guess knowledge through experience.
Nice. That's cool. Knowledge through Legos is what it was for my kid, right?
Legos. And I guess the passion drives the creation. So yeah, it's fun for me to create and just make it the best it could be. So
that's really cool.
And it obviously shows. You're doing some fantastic creations. You're coming out with some cool designs. Looks like you're having fun with the names and the designs and the logos of the features, and the Mohawk little guy on the front of that box is fantastic. Total punk rock, which goes right in line with the theme of that, of the design of that product. So
Thanks.
you're doing some fantastic things, and I think you guys are gonna see the light here very soon, if not have seen it already for sure.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Any other fun things coming out that you're planning on, or just kind of focusing mainly on the jowls and expanding the jowls line at the moment?
Right now we're just trying to kind of get our feet underneath us with the products that we have, and build some steam. And then also try to kind of grow our dealer base and kind of get the word out there with traveling around doing events. We're going up to Townsend. We have a dealer up in Ohio that's putting on an event, the Townsend Takeover, which is alongside of the Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion, kind of the same weekend.
Nice.
But he's doing Townsend is like 30 minutes away. He's doing an evening event with a concert kind of venue style event. So Dranger Offroad, Jack Zell, has been with us since the beginning. We have a partnership with them, and they're great people. So we're going to go up there and put up a booth, hang out, have a good time, and do that. And then we haven't done like the big events, so we're going to start doing those, for the rest of the year. And then next year we want to do like all the overlanding expos. We didn't do Jeep Beach. We haven't done Jeeping with Jed yet down here in Florida, which is a massive event.
Yeah, that's like right next door to you.
Yeah, it's literally an hour away from us, and we just got to get our feet underneath us a little bit, and then keep growing. So that's kind of the plan.
Nice. I like it. I think you guys are heading in a big direction. There's a lot of good companies in the off-road industry that make great products. There's very few companies, in my opinion, that make great products with a phenomenal design. And there's even fewer companies that do all of that with a really fun attitude about
sense of
everything,
humor.
a sense of humor about it all. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah, I think we need more people that are doing what you're doing in the off-road industry, man. Keep it up. We're definitely interested, as you come out with new products in the future, come back on the show here. We'll share them with all the listeners. I think you're doing some cool stuff, and I think our listeners have very similar senses of humor. So
yeah, I'd like to come out and have you guys show me the ropes too. I mean, I would, do a little off-roading adventure with you guys, like a trail run or something.
Heck yeah.
absolutely, man.
We were just talking about that earlier today, about how we seem like these days we're becoming Rubicon tour guides in no way.
Yeah.
With some of our friends and some of the companies we've been talking to. So we're definitely open to that idea. I just have one more question for you, Kyle. How the hell do I clear the wake?
The funny thing about that is I used to be a world-class wakeboard coach, so don't Google me.
Okay. We'll hide the last name.
Yeah.
So, if you really want to learn, I can actually teach you that.
Is it just approaching it with more gusto and don't go so timidly? Or is there science behind like where to hit the wake and how fast the boat needs to be going and how much weight it needs and water ballasts on the side and everything?
All the above.
Dang. All right.
Science to it. So
I still can't land it, so I don't really know why I need to clear the wake. So even when I land in the middle, I still wipe out.
Do you wakeboard a lot?
No, that's why I can't do any of it. I got to the point where I could almost clear the wake, and then I was trying to do flips, and it just got silly.
Yeah.
But I don't own a boat, and my friends do, and they're pretty good at wakeboarding. And then I get out there once or twice, and I just embarrass myself.
Nice.
Yeah,
but it's fun. Right?
It's fun. I have a great time. I'm a water guy, so I just love swimming and being in the water and going. I've surfed many times, and just never so I can get up. Like I popped up the very first time. All my friends were shocked. I'm like, really? It's not that hard. You let the water do the work pretty much, and you can just ride it on the way up. And so I've got the balance down. I just, I've never been one to jump and land on things in water. I don't know.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, maybe we can go wakeboarding when we meet up.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
We've got a lake right by us, so we can
I
definitely
miss it. I don't get to do it much anymore. So
there's a few actual wakeboard parks out by us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Cable parks are still growing, man. We have one close to us called OWC, Orlando Water Sports Complex. That's probably one of the most famous. So
yeah. I made it all the way around. I didn't. And then the second time when I looped around, I tried to hit a jump and then I fell.
You remember what Do you know what the park is? What park?
That's the one in Galt, or
There's one out. I don't know the name of it.
Don't know the name.
I just know where it's at. It's between here and there. Or it's right out by the airport.
oh, that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've never actually like stopped in at that one. I've stopped and looked at the one that's in Galt, South Sacramento area. But
Yeah, there's
There's
or
a
three
few,
around
yeah.
us.
Smart business model. They try to position themselves near airports.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Thanks again, Kyle, for everything. Any final words for everybody out there? Anything? How can people get a hold of you if they wanted to find out more information about Moose Knuckle or anything you guys are doing and anything you're up to out there?
Oh man, we're all over social media. It's just Moose Knuckle Offroad on social media. It's our parent company is Forward Notion, and that name kind of forward thinking. Notion is idea. Forward Notion. So that's the parent company. If you search that on Facebook, you'll find us there. Instagram is just Moose _Knuckle _Offroad. We're on TikTok. We have a chat on our website. You can email us. So we're easy to get a hold of.
That's cool. I like that. So, Jimmy, any final words for everybody out there?
If you want to know what a moose knuckle is, Urban Dictionary it.
Yeah.
Kyle, any final words for everybody out there?
No, just thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. This has been awesome.
Absolutely, man. And with that, my friends, keep crawling.
I got one for you.
Joke time. Everybody, it's joke time with Jimmy.
What do dogs and phones have in common?
Dogs and phones, dogs and phones, and dogs and phones, and dogs and phones, and dogs and phones. Phones and dogs. Dogs and phones. I don't know. What do they have?
They both have caller ID.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
True fact.
True fact. That one's not even a joke.